Hey everybody! So a few weeks ago I came across a video called "Don't Listen to YouTubers When It Comes to Bass Tone." So naturally that kind of got my attention. The video is on a channel called Circle of Tone. Anyway, so I sat through it and I thought he did have some pretty good points. A lot of us have been taking shortcuts when it comes to bass tone when recording. Track a SansAmp, copy the track, added a bunch of distortion onto it, mix it in lightly, compress it like crazy, and move on. And while I'll rarely add in a distortion track these days, I do add quite a bit of grit with whatever pedal I'm using. And I've been using the bass SansAmp almost exclusively since 2004 when I recorded the second Woods of Ypres album, which as I recall was a blend of a SansAmp and a real amp. Since that record, I kind of ditched the real amps and haven't looked back. So when I watched the video, I was a little taken aback at first, but I do believe that Circle of Tone makes a very compelling argument as to why recording bass direct exclusively might not be such a great idea. With so many of us using bass pedals instead of real amps, the music has kind of suffered. There's just no life to it anymore because we're not capturing speakers moving air anymore. When you add in phony drums and auto-tune vocals, you can see that it's very easy to make something very freaking boring. Now, bass guitar is a huge part of metal. It is half the guitar tone, and that's where the heavy is. And this is why I am so hard on bass players, because if the bass track is weak, the entire record is weak. Don't settle for second best bass tracks on your record. Kick your bass player in the ass and make sure he pulls his weight. But instead of dropping thousands on a dedicated bass rig, he suggests using a guitar amp into a vintage 30 cabinet. Well, I just happen to have a lot of that stuff kicking around, so let's take a look at some tracks that I've done over the last year and see what happens when I reamp the bass into my Rev Generator 120 into a Coffee custom cab with the Roswell Delphos mic. I'll also back the compression off on my distressor and use it just to hit the peaks. Here's a few clips from our Dingwall demo. By Crom's balls, that is shocking. It's not even close. Check out this next clip. Okay, I think we're on to something here. Let's try one more. Alright, I think it's safe to say without a doubt the tube amp outright destroys the pedal tracks. So what gives? Well, it's a real amp moving a real speaker. Suddenly, Lemmy playing through a Marshall doesn't seem so crazy after all. But shouldn't I be recording a bass amp? Well, I shot out a David Eden bass head a few years ago against the SansAmp and it didn't get anywhere near this dramatic of a difference. That video is still online and you can check it out. I'll put a button up here. I'm not sure if it's the pedal matching the sound of a dedicated bass rig or what, but when you plug your bass guitar into a guitar tube amp, something very cool happens. And I will say this, even though I've been recording professionally for 20 years, I still try to learn something new every day. Because recording really is about discovery, even when it challenges the methods that you're comfortable with. So I would like to thank Circle of Tone for the cool video and for challenging me in a constructive way. Consider me educated. I highly recommend checking out his channel. I'll put a link in the description below. I think I've found my new favorite way to record bass because this method has brought so much life back to my recordings. At the same time, it's like rediscovering an old method. The last record I did with a live bass amp was in 2004 by Woods of Ypres, and it won Understrain magazine's Album of the Year. Bass, it would seem, truly is life. Alright, thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out my premium mix tutorial where I show you how to get a massive drum sound without any samples. All my multi-tracks and Reaper settings are included, and there's over 2 hours of video to learn from. Check the link in the description. I'll see you guys next time.